Flosstube. Hi, it's Lisa coming to you from the chilly, but dry Pacific Northwest. We're not frozen anymore. We caught the west edge of that horrendous storm that went through the rest of the country. And we had ice storms where we basically iced in for a couple of days, but it went away. And now we're back to normal temps, which is in the 40s, low 30s at night. During the ice storm, we got down to 19. And I was talking to my dad on the phone because he was driving east into the storm to go visit people for Christmas and New Year's. And he's like, oh, it's minus 40 in Wyoming where they live. And I was just like, no, no. I lived in that kind of country. I lived in the Rocky Mountains at 4,500 feet for a good many years. And, I lived in Montana in the mountains. And just, yeah, no. I like my mild Oregon weather, and you can make fun of us all you want because we don't have the infrastructure in place to handle that kind of stuff because we don't get it that often and we don't like it when we get it. So anyway, I hope everybody's safe and had a wonderful holiday, whether you were celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or just time off in the middle of the year, because that's what our country does, and or your country or whatever. Anyway, yeah, okay, I'm probably going to have to edit this. Anyway, I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, whatever holidays you were celebrating. They were good and filled with love, laughter, and mine were. Ours was good. We had a really, really good holiday. Today is January 2nd. Welcome. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. This is my Flosstube channel mostly. Occasionally I wander off into cosplay or crochet, and you'll see a little bit of that today. But here's where I just geek out about cross stitch, and it's been mostly cross stitch. It's where I get to be too much because the ADHD thing. Growing up, I was always told I was too much. You're too excitable. You're too emotional. You're too into that. Chill. Back off. Don't. And you know what? This is my channel, and I can geek out as much as I want, and if I want to be too excited about it, I can be. That said, I'm not always that excitable. People, I ran into that at work. They're like, we were talking about in a group I was in, and we were setting up a presentation with somebody who's very high up in another part of the bank, and they're like, well, you sound really excited about it. Why don't you handle it? And I was just like, no. And they're like, why not? And I said, well, I just found out this year I have ADHD, and I always sound excited in the moment. After the moment, no. Anyway, what have I got for you today? I have a finish. I don't have a lot of stitching progress because it was a busy holiday. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of, I did finish the 2 stockings, which I showed you in my last video. They were very well received by the recipients, I've been told, so that's really cool. I'm very happy about that. They really liked them. So, and it was really cool on Christmas Day that everybody had a stocking that I had made. That was really amazing, really cool. And that's really what I did. And then once we got into the holiday season, I was working on a brainless crochet project, which I have it. I'd signed up for a crochet monthly, and I just decided I didn't want an Afghan kit where you get one a month and you learn all these new stitches and stuff. And I just realized as I was working through it, it was like, this isn't what I want. I just want something I can sit and do. So I'm working on this one, which is just a simple moss stitch, and it's very brainless. I never remember the names. I think it's a single crochet into the space and then a slip stitch, single crochet and a chain stitch, single crochet, chain, and that's just what you do all the way around. So I have a whole bunch of this yarn and that's what I'm doing when I don't want to think. And that's what I did quite a bit around Christmas, just because, it gets busy and you get tired. Anyway, but I did finish one, so it's coming up on New Year's Day, and I didn't have a new solstice start like I'd have the last couple of years. I just couldn't get to it. And I didn't, and I realized I had one thing left I could finish, and I actually wanted to finish before the end of the year, and that was Winter Robin. So on New Year's Eve, I had things to do, supposed to have people over and stuff, and then in the morning, I was just like, told everybody, I'm out of spoons. I'm done. No, I just want to sit home by myself and cross stitch on Christmas Eve. Well, it took different errands and different things I had to get, New Year's Eve, different errands, different things I had to get done. It took me most of the day, but I swear, I finished it before midnight. So this was my last finish of 2023. This is, yeah, it's called Winter Robin by the Little Stitcher. And they had it made up in the sample case at work, and it was so cute. Finishing mine, it's not as tiny and cute as theirs. But you know what? I think theirs was stitch 1 over on 40. Oh, hell no. I'm not doing that. So mine is cute enough, and I really like it. It is supposed to have a white dot in the eye, so it doesn't look quite like such black, beady eyes of death. But, you know, it's a robin in winter. Those probably are black, beady eyes of death. Do you have anything you can feed me? Anyway, I like it. I'm not sure how I'll finish it. It's interesting. One of the things I do struggle with how to finish mine. Do I, flat folds, pictures? I tend to go for framing. I'm not always sure I have places to put the little smalls, the little pillow things. But then as I was decorating for Christmas, I was looking around going, well, because I do have my polar pack that I finished, and then I have my winter bear that I hung up, and it was interesting. It was harder to find a place for the picture to hang than it was to find a place to put the little pillow with polar pack on it. So I'm like, okay, remember that, Lisa. You have places you can put these. You can scatter them around the house. And so I'll probably wind up finishing this into something like that. And so yay, so that gave me 10 finishes for the year, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but that was pretty good for me. That was pretty good for me. And 2 of them were fairly big projects because it wasn't necessarily even the stitching. It was all of the making of the stocking and all the hand sewing and stuff, because trim and stuff, I have trouble sewing it on the machine. I just don't think it looks as nice. So anyway, that's all detailed in my previous Flosstube. So yeah, so that's what I did. Oh, and now it's 2023. And I was trying to decide, what do I do? Do I do a whip rig? Do I do plans? Do I do what? And I was looking at people's Flosstubes, and I was looking at people's, which I'm still very behind, way behind on Flosstube. I'm trying to catch up. I will, maybe. I might just start over. Have not been on Instagram a lot because it was better for my mental health if I didn't go look at what everybody else was doing when I wasn't. So it was just like, I was, trying to decide what to do. And all these people are starting these big projects. I'm like, oh, but I want to kit up one of my big mirabilias and start that. And it's just like, but no, you don't, Lisa. You want to finish Galactic Galliard. You want to, so I worked on organizing things, and so I'll show you my whips because I have 4 plus 2 new starts. So, and that's all I have. But I'm going to skip the haul because this may impact the amount of stitching I get done this year. So for Christmas, my spawn were good to me. We have fun with Christmas. We just always have. I got this. Isn't this cute? This will help me refine my amigurumi skills, and when I'm ready to do my hot dwarves or my dwarven Thorin's company. And I already have a list of requests. My hope is to have them done for people's birthdays. The first birthday is in March. If you've watched me for a while, you know that I am somewhat lax about deadlines, except for that last final, oh my God, it's got to be done deadline. All the others you can fudge. And yeah, I did get through graduate school like that. I wrote my master's thesis in 2 weeks. Yeah, everybody hates me. And to be fair, one chapter was a paper. I just had to edit a little bit to make it. It was a paper I'd written in a research seminar the year before, but yeah, okay. The other thing I got, look at this. It's a 162-page instruction manual, which is part of the reason I haven't started it. The other reason is I really wanted to finish Winter Robin. But look at that. Isn't that cool? The tall necks, this is from a video game called Horizon Zero Dawn and Horizon Forbidden West. And if you haven't played them and you like video games, they're really cool. They're really, really cool. Good story. The main character, she's amazing, and she wears clothes the whole time. But these are futuristic robot animals, and as you can see, it kind of looks like a giraffe. But these are like they're like the, I don't know what you call them, the SR-17 planes or whatever. Anyway, you activate these to reveal your maps, and so you have to climb up on them and catch them. And she's tiny. You can see down here. She's tiny. So these things are really tall, and then you activate them, and you get a map of the surrounding terrain, and they just walk, and they don't stop for anything, and they're big, and I love them. And so when I saw this, I was just like, oh, I want that. So I put it on my Christmas list, and I got it. Um, I don't build with Legos a lot. I have a friend who does a lot of Legos, so I know who to call if I need help. But yeah, so this will be fun. Like I said, I got it out of the box and looked at it, but I haven't started it. And there's also a lighting kit you can buy for it. So that's going to be a little distracting at some point too, because I've got to build that and set it up. I'm really excited. I think I need to get another display case for my living room. I did get another Funko Pop for Christmas too. So anyway, so that's what I got for Christmas. That was like my crafty heart. I was like, yes. All the craft stuff I got this year was crochet. Last couple years I've gotten cross stitch. This year it was all crochet. So whips. Can it be a parade if you only have 4 entries? Maybe? I don't know. One of them is, I started this one right before Christmas. About the same time I started Winterberg. This is Abominable Bundle, and I haven't gotten any further in this than I did the last time I showed it to you. Basically, I just kind of started these trees way up in this corner. So that's all I've gotten done. This is being stitched with the called for it's called a mix of called for overdyed and DMC, and I'm stitching pretty much with called for, except I think the white I didn't. They wanted you to use an overdyed, and I'm not. I'm just using DMC, I think Blanc, or is it 52? It's B5200. And then it's stitching it on the called for floss, which is called for fabric, which is 36 count Winter Wren by Fox and Rabbit. I really like it. Oh, and this one, I stitched this on eucalyptus 36 count using the called for DMC. And I can't remember who makes eucalyptus, I'm sorry. It was the called for fabric for Polar Pack, and that's why I have extra of it. So that's Abominable. That one's kind of on the back burner because it's more of a Christmas, and I don't want to mess with, I'm not working on it right now. Where, that's it. And then I looked up when I started this one. I don't have to be embarrassed. You're my people. You understand. You'll know what it's all about. This was my New Year's start in 2021, which means it's been exactly 2 years since I started it, almost. And I am this far. So, maybe a third, a little more than a quarter. It's a little bit more than a quarter. Okay, maybe a quarter. What's between a fourth and a quarter? A third and a quarter. Yeah, my brain doesn't math. I mathed as much as I had to get through school. I even got through calculus. I don't math anymore if I don't have to. Anyway, so I want to finish that one this year. I've got 2 deadlines. One is Ostara, one is November. So we'll see if I actually make progress on that. But I think once I actually can sit down and focus on it, I can get it done. Let's see. I have notes. Why am I going off my memory? I have notes. So the other one is about, okay, so I have Galactic Galliard, which again I have not done anything on since I last saw you. It's just been sitting there waiting for me patiently while I worked on other things. So this is Galactic Galliard, and you all know that I am replacing the Bible verse with Carl Sagan quotes. And again, I do not like everything starts cascading off my desk. This is how far I am. So I've actually, this is as far as the lettering goes on the top. And so now I can fill in and actually have a corner turn if I want to. And I'm still debating the spacing. If I want to, I don't know what I was thinking when I did the spacing, and it's not completely even between the words. And I'm trying to decide if I care enough to take it out. So far I haven't. We'll see. We'll see. And so that's that one. I would like to finish it this year. I don't know if I will be able to. We'll see. The other, one second, I have to grab it. So this is my other, and I had a picture to show you. Where is it? Pardon me, tea. you get used to not being cold, and then when it gets a little bit cold, you're cold. um, this is my long-term whip, which is Celtic Banner by Butternut Road. I've talked about it a couple times, I know, where is that where it is? Maybe I didn't download the picture. Um, I bought this in a kit right after I split with my ex-spousal unit, and I got it from somebody off of eBay. They had the original pattern and fabric and all the thread, and I've since replaced the thread because it just kind of felt old, and then some of the colors weren't right. They had just substituted color, and I'd really like to finish it. So at some point, but okay, so this is, I don't know if you can see that on my phone. See how big it is? That's someone's hand down there. Yeah, it's big. It's beautiful though. I love it. I love it. And the reason I ran into trouble with it was that I realized, so it was my first, so this is a fabric, and it was my first time I'd ever done a sampler or a banner or anything like that. My first time back doing a major this is the biggest cross stitch project I'd ever started. And I thought I started it in the right place. This is as far as I've gotten done. It's what it's looked like every other time I've showed it to you. But I don't have enough room on the bottom now to finish it because of where I started. And then the other thing was I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the alphabet, because I don't like the alphabet. I wanted something unique. Well, I found my unique thing. It's my maternal haplogroup DNA thing, and probably my paternal, because it's very short as well. So I figured out how to do all that, and I need to do the border. But the thing I'm wondering now is maybe I'm just going to pick it all out, because it's been so long since I worked on it. And every time I try to think, oh, well, I could take that part out, or I could substitute that part, I run into the thing that I've always struggled with. Did I not put the picture back in here? Yeah, evidently not. There is a picture of this floating around. Anyway, I look at a piece and I think, oh, I could take that out. I could take that out. And then I look at the whole, and I'm like, but I like the whole thing. And trying to replace it is hard. And the thing with an ADHD brain that I have found, something I've always struggled with, is I have an idea and I want to pursue it. And I was trying to explain this to a friend the other day. Probably TMI, but I see where I want to go. And I know where I'm at. But getting there is hard, because it's a working memory issue that they're figuring out, and especially with ADHD. And it's like the one I've seen that explains it really well is building a sandwich. So I'm hungry, I want a sandwich for lunch. And you go, and in your head, what you literally do is you've made a sandwich before, and hopefully, if not, but whatever, you've done the thing, and so your brain literally works it backwards so that you can work it forward again. Whereas with ADHD, we have trouble holding that in our heads to work it backwards. Sometimes we can't. And so that's why I learned a long time ago I work really well off of lists. They can't be too comprehensive, but I used to do lists. I mean, I bought myself a passion planner this year, because I'm learning the ADHD diagnosis. I've learned better how to work with how my brain thinks, and plus the medication helps too. But that's one of the reasons I don't like switching things out if I don't have to. And so that's what I'm running into with that. So I'm just trying to decide if I want to pick the whole thing apart. It's not a lot, actually, and I would like to finish it. And I do think it would be really, really fun to put the U5B whatever thing. 1 second. I don't know why my nose always itches when I'm on camera. It does. It just itches. So anyway, so those are my 4 whips that I have. So that's the whip parade. It was 1 block long, and you're done, so you can go play now. And I'm dumping things on the floor. One moment. Okay, I'm back. Okay, whip parade, 4 blocks long. Notes. What am I doing? Okay, I have 2 new starts. I started one of them yesterday. It was my New Year's start, and this is Cepede by Marumi Crafts, Marumi Design. Isn't that pretty? She did this in honor of the women in Iran who are fighting for basic freedoms, basic human freedoms. Um, the name means the light that breaks at dawn. So I got this fabric, which is 36 count Fantasy by Mystic Fabrics. It's opalescent. And then I am working it in, pull up my thing here. I'm working it in, this is Threadworks. If you can see. That looks pretty true. And it's called Soft Light. It looks white, but there's a little bit of variegation in it. There's a little bit of pink and green. And I did about 130 stitches on it yesterday. So this is going to be, I'm signed up for the first time for a fandom challenge stitch group on Facebook. So we'll see how that goes. But this is one of mine this month. One of the things I have to do is, it's a fandom group and we're doing Lord of the Rings this year. So, I mean, for some reason, I thought, why not? You know, who knows? You'll never guess which team I'm on either. No. No. I mean, there's elves, there's ents, there's orcs, there's hobbits. Yeah. Somehow they put me, I don't know why they put me on the dwarven team. Who knows? They put me on the dwarven team. Anyway, so that's one of the ones I'm using for one of the challenges this month, which is The Hobbit was published in 1937, so you have to do 1,937 stitches on a project. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping it motivates me rather than demotivates me. But the mods on the group have been really good about do just what you want to. Don't try to do everything, which I'm really glad because there's a lot. Anyway, so my other start is also tied to the fandom stitching group. And it's this little kit that came with, I don't remember what month this was in. I think it's pretty recent. And it was in the, I go down to Joann every month. Not every month, but most months and pick up the Just Cross Stitch or World of Cross Stitch, whichever British magazine it is they have there. It's probably on here. I can't read it. I don't have a magnifying glass. I can't read this teeny tiny print. Anyway, it's Christmas Robins. It's a little card. I'm not going to make it a card. I'm using the thread that came with, but I'm doing it on Aida cloth. That's how far I've gotten. And I have some red fabric with white polka dots, and so I'm either going to make it a little sandwich board or I'll make it a pillow. So that's the other one I've gotten started today. And then plans. So about 2 years ago I started going into 2023. A couple years ago I started a planner for cross stitch, and I've been refining it. It's not anything that you can buy because I'm a contrarian, and so I have this binder that I bought. I put a patch that I made on the front just because it has nothing to do with cross stitch. It's from a sci-fi series of sci-fi novels that I still love. And I've been like, it's just my stitching journal. I like this size of paper. I detest spiral bound notebooks. I hate them with a passion. I'm not real fond of the discs things either. I have a D&D journal that uses those, and I'm not real happy with it. I like either a ring binder, but I don't like big ring binders, or I like smaller journals, kind of like this, right? This one's not quite 8.5 by 11, or maybe that one is 8.5 by 11. Anyway, I like bound cloth or ring binders. So I printed out, some of these are from Shazy and Stitches. I got theirs. One year I got the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Planner. I bought one from Mod Stitch, I believe. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on their name? It's a website. They're back east. Anyway, and I've collected different ones, and I've printed out, I got the paper. I just bought like a ream of A5 paper online, and then A5 is slightly bigger than the 5 by 8 or however big 5. Anyway, it's slightly bigger than half a letter size sheet, and that's why I buy A5. And then I just print out. There's a freebie set you can get. I've bought different ones. I've started a crochet one, so like I have just lists of whips, And I'm, over the couple of years I've been able to figure out, this is my, for this year, just a month by month, I've been able to kind of figure out what helps me keep going. And in terms of cross stitch this year, and see, I'm being very serious now. There's no about any of this. I do get really excited about paper and stationery stores. I miss stationery stores a lot. Real stationery stores, not scrapbook stores masquerading as stationery stores, and not Office Depot. I just miss real stationery stores. Anyway, so I've been working on putting it together, and and so what I have is, so I've got like, this is what's going on this year, and these are things I'd like to have done by that time. I've got a little bit place to write a few more notes. I'm not so sure about that one, if I'll keep it. This is one I got from the Stitch Modern Planner, which is my next stitch, and this is just a list of patterns that I think I want to stitch next, which changes, a wish list. I'm trying to make myself write down patterns I want rather than just willy-nilly buying them. And then I got me trying to figure out what I want to do, and then I have like a month, and then this is monthly plans, and then I have some tracking, this year at a glance thing, which is you color code your different projects and then you fill in what you stitched on that day, which is pretty cool, I think. And this may all fly out the window by the end of the week. Who knows? But I've gotten better at keeping it. And then the other thing I've done is these are the challenges for the Facebook group I'm on. And so these are the monthly challenges. I'm probably not going to do the weekly ones. I don't think I could. I might. But so I've made a real quick table in Word, and then I just filled in the ones I wanted to do, all of them, and then I'll fill them out as I go. And I just have a little bit more tracking and details, and then like a project. This is for Sepide. And so that's what I'm doing. And then the other thing I do, which is probably a little weird, but I posted a picture of this last year. I didn't this year because it was a lot. But I've also, because I'm, sorry, when you let me lean away from the camera and everything else, because again, I'm just kind of tossing things up here. I'm very visual, and I have it's not a pegboard, it's a grid up above my desk here in the craft room, and I can put things up there, and it just kind of keeps, because out of sight, out of mind, and this helps me keep things in sight. And so I wrote things out on these, and I just made my own. The first ones I did, I cut out of, you can see the lines, I just had some colorful index cards, and I just cut them in, I think they're like 1.25 inches by 3. I got, however many I could get out of a index card. And then I had to get ink, and I was at Office Depot, and I found cardstock Astro Brights for like half off, a whole ream, and so I brought that home, and that's what some of these other ones are. But anyway, so I cut these out, and what I did was I wrote on them, so like these are the ones I'm currently working on. So like this one, not that one, not that one, Galactic Galliard. And so then these are the ones that go up on the top row, because these are the actively being worked ones. And then I have like some of them, the ones that, then I just wrote down, here's the ones I remember, here's the ones, I had a bunch from last year, and then so I had all the ones from last year. I added some new ones, and I just kind of went through and just kept sorting them, and looking at them, and sometimes I'd go look up the pattern, and then sometimes I'd pull the patterns out and flip through. I was going through my inventory on my phone. I keep Cross Stitch, the X Stitch app, and I keep an inventory in there, and I pulled up Pattern Keeper and looked at what I had in there, and things like, I have a Lord of the Rings pattern. Do I want to work on that this year because I'm doing the Lord of the Rings challenge online? And no, I like what I'm working on. I'll do that one of these days. I have things kitted. I have, what have I got kitted? I've got Winter Owl kitted. I've got my owl. I've got Primavera. I've got Joan Elliott patterns out of the Joan Elliott book. I've got a Mill Hill kit. I've got 2 or 3 of those. So, and so I just kind of kept sorting through, just what do I want to do? What do I want to work on? Keeping in mind that over the last 2-3 years, I've learned I'm probably only going to get anywhere from 8 to 10 projects done. Maybe more, maybe not. But I'm not, I'm not a prolific stitcher. And just trying to use what I have. because I've got like, oh, I have some Laurel Birch kits. I have her little Moroccan mares and her Mediterranean mares kits, which I'd like to get done someday. You know, so I'm not, and the fun thing is that, again, this goes back to finally being diagnosed correctly and getting the right medication, because with the ADHD medication, my brain is quiet and I can think better, and you know, it's a work in progress, but the foundation is there. And so in many ways I was trying to make my stitching not less fun and impulsive, because that's always fun. It's like, no, I'm not starting that, I'm doing this. That's kind of what this was. So I kept eyeing it. I think that'd be really fun. It's tiny. I could do that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Because I wanted to do something impulsive and fun. And you know, if it's a big one and it's impulsive and fun, that's okay. You know, there's room for that. But I also just want to be intentional. And so I was looking around my house when I decorated for Christmas and putting out the 2 or 3 little Christmas pieces I had. And most of what I've done is make ornaments, and those are always fun to hang on the tree. But trying to find places to like hang the winter bear picture and trying to find a little place to put polar pack, it's like, okay, I have places I can put these things. What are other things I would like to have? Well, I have a fireplace mantle. It would be really fun to have, especially for sell-in, hang something from that, have something decorated. And I've seen like pennant banners that people have done and other things. And so that's the other things I was thinking of too. So I was trying to be a little bit intentional. And so what I've come up with for plans, and you know, as per, these can go out the window, because I did sign up for the Fandom Stitching Challenge. I'm also going to be doing Dee's 20 Stitches Pride 2023, Stitch for Pride 2023 challenge, which is a year-long challenge with monthly things. And actually, once I'm done with this, I'm going to go watch, the first video is up on their channel, and I'm going to go watch that and figure out what I want to do. Although I did plan ahead for Pride, and I picked out, that's not it. I have a little stack of things that's for Pride. I have Lady Man, which is a reproduction sampler by Bindi Stitchy. I have the Trans Pride Unicorn. I have Move Forward in Love from Modern Folk Embroidery. And then I have some other just general Pride stitches that I picked up from other vendors, but I think the one I'm actually going to go with is Hay Sailor. I think that's the name of it. Anyway, it's Dee's 20 Stitches Mermaid, Trans Mermaid that they did. And I think that's the one I'm going to stitch specifically for Pride Month. So I have to make sure I have that one kitted up ahead. But, so I'm doing those 2. So what I'm going to do is I want to finish Galactic Galliard. I want to finish Egg Hunt. I want to finish Sepideh. And then whatever other little ones I come to. But some of the things I'm looking at are, I finished Invierno over a year ago. I have charts and threads for all the rest. And I really want to have the rest of these to hang, you know, change them out by season. So this may be a start fairly soon. I have Madame Chantilly's Pumpkin Thieves. That was one of the first big project I finished when I got back into cross stitching. And it's hanging up in my living room above my sound baffle, because it's the only thing I had that was big enough to fit that space. I don't want it up year round, but it's been up there for 2 years because I don't have anything else to fill that space. So I have these. I have my prehistoric animal cross stitch. So I have to sit down. I haven't sat down and done the math yet. Okay, I lied. I do math when I have to. Well, no, I did say that, didn't I? I don't know. Anyway, I'm thinking I might put a couple of these together, or 3 of them on a I can't read the Russian. This is an owl forest. Or no, these are Nikta. I think it's Nikta. Nitka. These are from Nitka. I think Barbara Anna, she works with Barbara Anna Designs a lot. That's a pattern I want to get. There's a couple of those I want to get. But anyway, so I have these, and I have the fabric, and I want to put a couple or 3 of those together in a panel. And I think it's saying it's 118 by 84. I don't know if that's 114 by 104, 114 by 76, 22 by 16. That doesn't sound right. Must be centimeters. And I don't know if that's stitches or centimeters on the other. So I have to sit down and look at them and figure them out. So that's something else I may start. I, despite my best intentions, kitted this one. Never started it. Never started it. I'd like to do that. I'd like to get those done. I have a couple of Mill Hill kits I'd like to finish. I also, for Halloween, for a possible mantle, I'm thinking about doing Quaker pumpkins, and instead of All Hallows Eve, just have it say Blessed Soin. It should fit there. It's about the same number of letters, and it wouldn't be hard to adapt that lettering, or just I need to get a book of alphabets, cross stitch alphabets, because I don't have one. But just find a simple cross stitch alphabet and replace it with that. And I think that would work really well with this, and it'd be really pretty. And then I could, I don't know, put it with quilting or something. Except I'm a lousy quilter. I like planning them and picking out all the colors. I'm terrible at sewing them, which is kind of what derailed Invierno, because I tried kind of quilting it into a banner, and it looked really sad when I was done, and I'm still sad about it. But I get compliments on it, so I'm just going to go with that. The other one I'm looking at is this. And then I have a whole bunch, right? These are just the ones that I have out. This isn't everything. So that's kind of where I'm at with those plans right now. And I've also figured out something I like, about the patterns that I have. There's patterns I bought when I was first getting back into the hobby for the first year and a half, really. And I was like, okay, these are really pretty. I like them. I would probably stitch them. And then as time has gone on, I'm just kind of like, I don't know that I'm ever going to stitch that. And I don't know for sure what I'm going to do with those patterns. I'll probably just hang on to them. But it's like some of the blue flower ones I've bought. I'm just kind of going, I know why I bought it, but I don't know that I'm ever going to get around to it. So we'll see. There's a lot of other stuff out there that I have that I want to do. Like I got the Karamos Bestiary. I've got the Mother Moon from Joan Elliott. I've got stuff that as I've gotten more familiar with what's available and what's out there. The new stuff Marumi keeps coming out with. Oh my gosh, have you seen her dragon? It's so cute. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think, is that everything? Oh yeah, and I've got all the amigurumi I want to stitch, and the Afghan I want to stitch, and the group I'm in on Facebook is Fandom Stitching Central, I think. Yeah. Anyway, it's really cool, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm hoping it'll help keep me motivated for stitching and keep me pulled into the stitching community. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm either going to go, it's not quite 4. I had the day off. I did have to sign in and work a little bit. We're really busy right now. I also have to go back to the office. I'm not real thrilled about that. I only have to go in, I'm supposed to average 3 days a week. And my boss, whatever, head of our department, was like, yeah, you can go in and leave at noon if you want to. I want to. So that starts tomorrow. That's not going to be fun going in 2 or 3. But I don't live as far away as I used to. So it's like a 15-minute drive as opposed to an hour commute. Maybe an hour and a half if traffic or the trains aren't running right. Kitties are doing well. They hate each other. I absolutely fail at cat bonding. They hate each other, but they just tend to avoid each other for the most part. We've had a couple of run-ins, but I just you can't, you don't get mad because there's nothing to be mad about. They're just being cats. So it is what it is. And then the old cat, Callie, she's doing all right. She's been a little under the weather, but she's getting better. And what other people talk about? Oh, if you haven't watched Andor, watch Andor. It is so good. It is not your typical Star Wars, but it's still really, really fun. And yeah, I love it. It's so well done, and the characters are so good, just so good. I'm listening to books on tape. I'm going to be listening to a lot of Lord of the Rings on tape. But I did just finish listening again to Becky Chambers, and if you like sci-fi and you haven't listened or read hers, she has A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I forget what the second one is. Oh no, maybe it is A Closed and Common Orbit. There's 4, and I can't remember one of them. There's A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, A Closed and Common Orbit, and then The Galaxy and the Ground Within, which is the most recent one, and they're so good. They're slice of life sci-fi. There's, I don't know, social sci-fi. what you call it. But anyway, they're fun. She makes great characters. She has really imaginative alien species, and everybody is just people. And the humans aren't the saviors of everything, which is a nice approach. And one of them, Galaxy in the Ground Within, is basically like there's a giant rest stop in space, and the power goes out, and all these aliens in their different environments and their different cultures are stuck at the rest stop with basically a very, very happy, friendly llama with a teenager for their host. And it's a story about what happens during those 3 days. And it's so fun. They're so good. So I highly recommend. They're Becky Chambers wrote them, and the first one's called A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and you should find that. And then Andor is just so good. Good to watch while you're stitching. Although I get a little distracted by the pretty faces on the screen. Yeah, but the books to listen to while you stitch are really fun, and the Becky Chambers I highly recommend. And okay, I think I've babbled on long enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you to the subscribers who keep bumping me up up to 100 and back. It's kind of funny to watch it. It's just like, oh well, you know, I've established a long time ago. Even though I whined about it, I quit. Sorry. I'm just here because I like to make these videos, and I just really appreciate that some of you like to watch them with me. So thank you. Happy New Year. Happy stitching. Go forth, and I hope you can do all the things that make you happy. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.